Did Bungie drop the ball with Renegades? Did they actually achieve a success? Well, yes and no to both. Because here's the deal, guys. We're going to answer these questions, and I'm going to do it through a couple quick points. I'm going to get you in, I'm going to get you out, and I'm going to get you on with your day. I'm going to give you the information you need to know whether this is a viable DLC to play, or if it's something you should just pass on and keep playing what you are playing now. I think this goes without saying. I want to hear what your take is for those of you who played it, and most importantly, there are going to be spoilers. So if you have not played the game yet and you want to go in clean, I'd advise you just pass on this and come back at another time. So let's get into it. What is going on, Guardians? I hope you're having a most excellent holiday, and if it is not your holiday, I hope you're having a most excellent day indeed. As I said, we are covering Renegades today and the DLC. It's taken me a little longer to get to this video because I wanted to finish the story and finish a bunch of the side content so I can give you an honest opinion of what I've played and whether it's worth it or not. We're going to start first and foremost with the story. This is your typical bland affair. There's nothing new under the sun here. You're going to see where the story's going pretty straightforward and clear. And the funny thing here is a buddy of mine played this and he beat the campaign before I did, and he told me, he said, well, after the first mission, it doesn't really feel like Star Wars anymore. It just feels like Destiny. What this proved to me is he's not watched a lot of Star Wars, because there was so much Star Wars in this DLC, it almost became jarring and didn't even feel like I was playing Destiny anymore. That's the difference. As I said, it is your typical fare. They took one of the worst sagas in the Star Wars history of late, which was the sequel trilogy, and that was their main basis of what they were building around. You got Dredgen Bael, which is basically emo Ren. You have the big bad general guy that's his backing in military force, and they've got a big super weapon that's once again going to do damage to the universe using a technology that we thought we got rid of, but lo and behold, there it is. They can steal your light ability. And not just that, anybody that uses light is killed with this weapon. We've done this before. We've had these aspects played out for them. They dipped into the well multiple times to make this story. If you're looking for a grand story, I highly advise you pass, because you're not going to get one here. It's serviceable. It's to the point. You're going to get in. You're going to get 6 missions, and you're going to be done. Now, the locations, as I said, are cool. You get Mars, it feels like Tatooine. You've got Jabba's sand barge. You have the Sarlacc pit, which is massive, and you can pop over it a couple times, and there's some events that take place. Venus feels different, feels very swampy and more mucky, and very similar to a Dagobah. And of course, it doesn't really take much to make Europa feel like Hoth. But it's serviceable, and for that element, for the locations, it works. Now, they've added a lot of new stuff to this DLC as well. The exotic mission, there's a whole nother video coming for this one. It was enjoyable, but the thing with it is they don't actually separate it from the campaign. It's built into the campaign. This isn't something you're going to do afterwards. This isn't something that you might miss. It's going to be very straightforward and right to the point. You're going to jump in, you're going to go forward, and typical Bungie fare, you're going to get lost because you're not going to know where you're going. I went in and did this solo and wandered through it for a while before I actually got to the end. Was it fun? Sure. I've done it about 2 or 3 times now on the second and third iterations that I went in. It is fun, and you can acquire all of the catalysts for the lightsaber right now and right off if you do it properly. So I would say that the exotic mission is a win. It felt enjoyable, the experience, it's big, it's a lot of jumping, so it's going to be your typical Whisper style mission where you're going to have a lot of content that you're bouncing through, and there's going to be a lot of platforming and a lot of, secrets. Now, we get to another element that they brought in that I really do like, which is the contracts. This is something that you're going to be playing off of on numerous instances, and they can change and they can have different variables. You're going to have contested planets through the different factions and systems that you're going to be registering with and basically signing up for whichever faction you want, and then you go and you complete contracts for them on those worlds. And you can be invaded while you're doing it, which is really cool. And if you are on a contested planet, you will probably be invaded within the first 3 to 5 minutes of the start of the contract. It is a match-made activity, which is a bonus, so you'll be on the planet with other Guardians doing your thing. And that leads me to the next. The Renegade abilities are dope. They've added a lot of really cool ones. You get the Behemoth, you get the ATST, you get Shanks that actually heal, you get barrages. We've got mixes of Helldivers and a lot of other aspects. And this is basically Helldivers meets Destiny. It is a Sony-owned IP, so expect this to be in there and a lot more of their stuff to be prevalent over time. Contracts, though, awesome. I've already maxed out a lot of my Spider Renegade abilities, and I'm looking forward to doing it with the Cabal as well, because we can actually drop a drop pod on somebody else. Those bastards, they get Cabaled for once, which is beautiful. Now, we get Vanguard and Nightfall back, and that is great. So you get your Vanguard alerts, and you're going to have to do 3 in order to get your viable gear, your pinnacle gear off of this. With the Nightfall, obviously, and your Grandmaster, no, it's going to be what you want to get out of it. But you can continue going through it. I did it twice, and they allowed me the ability to get the pinnacles, but you are going to have to do 3 of them, which is fine. They're fun, they're enjoyable. It's the hero fantasy moment. You go in there, but don't expect the actual drops to be anything viable or good. Now, this leads me to one of the big negatives on this DLC. They pitched the hell out of the arena: Astral Alignment, Catch Crash, and Nightmare. They're cool. I'm glad they're back. They're awesome. But the one nightmare of these 3 events, they're token-based. 6-player events that are token-based. We did Astral Alignment. The first time, we didn't make it past the hill with the batteries. The second time, we didn't even make it to there. All of our tokens were gone that fast. And because it is once again based off of their typical level system, I was playing it at Grandmaster, not Ultimate. And I can only imagine that Ultimate is even more fun than what I had, because I got to tell you, I was loving every second of just watching our lives vanish and wasting my time. It was amazingly bad. Avoid this right now, guys. If this is something you're interested in, or if you get lucky that you can actually get one out the door, this is one of the really bad elements that they drop the ball heavily with. There should be no tokens on this. This should just be infinite lives. Go in, have fun, complete it just like it was when it was a seasonal activity. I can't even imagine what Catch Crash is going to be like in some of these events where you just get ultra spammed on the bridge of that boat as you're fighting down, waiting to get across. So, as I said, bypass. Another bad element, guys, they once again pulled the Bungie 2-step. We went 2 steps forward and 5 steps back. That much of a difference. Solo ops are currently broken. When you guys go in and do them, and you see those bonus drops on there, yeah, you might want to pay attention to them, because every solo op I did, I never got the bonus drops, and they were all still listed there. And I tried multiple. I did the newest one, Typhon. I did Creation, and I went back and I also did Salt Mines, and I got none of my bonus drops, and all of them showed 3 on there. So that really sucks. The fact that we have some progress, we have some changes, but we're getting a lot of mistakes. So avoid solo if you can. The weapons. The lightsaber's awesome, guys. If you want it, you're going to get it. You're going to get it at the exotic missions. Then you're going to end up getting all of the mods, the upgrades, and a lot of the other facets through a lot of the syndicate, as well as the other operations that you'll be doing contracts for. That's where you're going to get a lot of that material. They're fun. The heat weapons, they rock. They hit hard, they hit fast, and it's reminiscent of a lot of the other weapons you've used in other sci-fi games over the years. And it's nice having something with that much of a bite in the game. Something that you're not having to worry about ammo as much as you would. Because yes, ammo is still neat. But the fact of the matter is, they smack, and they smack well. Honestly, as a whole, guys, I got to be clear. It was a B minus, a C plus at best. This was not the typical follow-up we get after a bad DLC. But you can start to see a lot of the changes that Bungie is implementing to try and fix the game and to make the game better. You can see a lot of the things that are starting to be intertwined in the DNA that will fix a lot of this. Vanguard alerts, dope. I like having that back. It is match made, so don't feel like you're going to be waiting for very long before you get somebody to join up with you. Having actual GMs back, beautiful. I can't wait to go back in, because these Diet Coke GMs that we've been getting are just kind of, they're not really very much of a challenge, just more of a pain in the ass. The new activities, the exotic mission, it's good. Contracts are awesome, and the experience, it's a better variant of Gambit. I got to be honest with you on that way. The 6 players being broken sucks. The solo ops being broken sucks. The story being lame, it sucks. But as a whole, with the new content that we have, the new things that we have to do, and the new things that have been added to the game, the other playable space like Tarsus, it's nice. It's nice to have a little bit more depth to the world, and it's nice to see that it's expanding and growing outwards. But it's going to take some time for them to fix a lot of these mistakes, guys. It's going to take some time, either 6 months to another year, for them to fully implement this vision. So if you're not wanting to hop back in and you're wanting to wait for them to get to the point where everything is fixed, time is not yet. Just keep listening, whether it's to me or to somebody else, and then you'll know when it is. But as of right now, if you're going to keep playing, if you've paid for it, I say go in and do it. You'll find a lot of new enjoyable things. You'll find a lot of new things that you can get in and get some enjoyment out of, and take advantage of the money that you've spent. If you haven't spent it yet and you don't like anything that I've said, or maybe you think I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. Hop in and play. Let me know. Did you like it? If you did, what did you like about it and what didn't you? Are you agreeing with me on a lot of the things that I said, the things that are broken, the things that shouldn't be the way they are, or the story that just felt kind of basic and flat with a weapon that's, once again, we're rushing to stop? As I said, let me know what you guys thought. Like a sub goes a long way, guys. As I said, this video was a little bit later than my normal fare. I wanted to try and get something out, but I wanted to make sure I had enough content played where I could actually justify the video. Scripted videos are coming again. So once again, most excellent day. I hope you guys are having an awesome one, and I hope I find you in the game sometime. If you ever see me in the tower, if you ever see me playing through and you see my name on the screen, say hi. Let me know. We can go run some stuff together. So until then, hope you're having a most excellent day, and I hope you're having an excellent time.